welcome to the Pitch of Discontent. Owen and Paige back for the weekly roundup.
Paige Gallagher.
Paige Gallagher?
Actually.
I didn't want to start off too strong, but clearly there is another choice of outfit going on here.
I don't know what you mean. What's fucked is I actually have blur stuck in my head. So like...
Hit us. Let's go.
Oh, the people. That's all you're going to get. It's too early.
That's it? Okay. I appreciate the Gallagher fit. I believe it's very on brand.
On brand, on theme. Wait, it's time to get up.
Oh, yeah, it's time to get up and do the pod. Great.
Yeah. Fuck Lewis Capaldi fella.
That slack-jawed fuckwit, or whatever the fuck he says about someone else, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking of the Gallaghers and Oasis, did you see that there was a Ticketmaster fiasco with people trying to get their tickets? They did dynamic pricing, and for people listening, that is in satirical air quotes. Basically, they just price gouge people waiting in the fucking queue to get the
I've heard about this thing with Ticketmaster doing this to people, but not specifically in this scenario.
So apparently, like, the general admission standing tickets were like £135, and then people were already in the queue waiting for the allocation, and then when they got them, they were like, oh, it's actually £335? And it's just like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, I saw like Walmart the other day. Not that, like, obviously we don't have Walmarts here, but they were putting in digital pricing on shit. And that's for the same sort of thing, like to be able to raise prices based on, you know, if it's raining outside and shit. Dark.
It's fucked.
Capitalism.
It's the capitalist hellscape we live in.
Yeah. I also saw a video of like the Metallica shows and a guy going around passing out like bands for the Snake Pit.
Oh, yeah.
And people like being so stoked and shit. And I didn't want to be like that guy, but like that's just like we shouldn't have class systems at shows. It's like antithetical to rock music. Like, what are you fucking doing?
You should be able to just buy a ticket and everyone buys the same ticket.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, I mean, it's very Metallica, but
yeah.
But point being is like it's happening at every concert, right?
Yeah.
Like especially like the older rock shows. There's always like your level 1 pit access and shit now, and it's just kind of it's crazy how classist this world is. And then we all like yell and bicker over like all these other sort of disparities in life, but it's just like this massive blind spot that we have as a society is just like. Well, I think a lot of people like class systems, to be perfectly candid.
I mean, that is the pernicious kind of nature of it.
Anyway, this is such a serious conversation to be having when I'm dressed as a Gallagher.
I know, but you're perpetuating the stereotype, so thank you very much.
Park life.
I mean, to be on brand, you should just be like, yeah, like, fuck Ticketmaster.
Well, I
know,
saw a thing
what
about...
fucking accent do they have? They have like a Manchester accent or some shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are Oasis from?
I'm an Australian Gallagher.
Okay, cool.
Because I wouldn't want to even try because I will get clowned on. There is nothing more vicious than a Brit that you have tried to like banter with. Yeah, they will fucking roast you. So I'll take a beat on that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's currently windy as shit outside.
Yeah.
Destructive winds was the
Thank
warning.
God we record in the basement.
Yeah.
It's nice and safe in our
bomb shelter.
In our little World of Warcraft basement. Bathroom!
The only shout out I have for this week is a record that I had 2 friends of the show send me.
Love you guys.
Dane Glover and Moldo. Shout out to both of them.
I do love you guys.
But I said to both of them variations on the same thing, which is like, I know it's good when 2 different people send me the same record on the same day.
2 people with pretty sick taste in music.
With a decent overlap of taste. The record is by a band called Concrete Winds. They're a Finland, like, death metal, extreme kind of band.
Yeah.
The album is self-titled, and it's fucking crazy. It's intense and kind of unhinged. So yeah, if you're after like some crazy death metal shit,
sure,
check it out.
Sounds rad.
Dope. Should we get into the main show?
Yeah, we should. Let's do it. You're my wonder woman.
There she is. There she is.
Yeah, look, thanks so much, Oasis, for fucking every dude at the campfire ruining the vibe for the last fucking decade and a half.
30 years or however long. Yeah. First up for this week, we have Melbourne rockers Ceres. They've been teasing a new forthcoming release. We featured one of the previous singles on the show. They've released, I think, 4 singles previously. But they've announced the record. It is called Magic Mountain 1996 to 2022. And it's coming out on October 4th through Cooking Vinyl Australia. It is a sprawling 25-track double album.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's a twofer. You're getting like 2 records worth of shit.
Reckon that's because of COVID? They've been sitting on a bit of work?
Well, let me get into this little blurb here and you'll see what I'm
I love it when I set you up for a good segue.
Yeah, thank you. So it's their first record in 5 years, and it's tipped as an ambitious undertaking, but also a profoundly personal one. And it chronicles, quote, singer-songwriter Tom Lenyon's deeply personal journey of rediscovery, nostalgia, patience, heartache, and joy. From his move back to his roots atop Melbourne's Mount Dandenong, to his agonizing journey through a 4-year battle to conceive a child, to the agony and heartache of a miscarriage, and the life-affirming joy of pregnancy and fatherhood finally realized. So, yeah.
God, that sounds so traumatic.
It sounds like a lot.
I'm not.
Lot of emotions, a lot of feelings.
We may have some similar challenges if we ever want to go down that route, just to overshare with our audience, I guess.
Brutal.
But we're just not doing it because it sounds really traumatizing.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. So they've released 2 new singles, and I picked one of those singles because it was called Britney Spears.
Yeah, correct.
This one,
say dressed as Noel Gallagher.
This one showcases multi-instrumentalist Stacey Cisavelli's powerful vocals and gorgeous vocal harmonies with Lenyon.
Beautiful.
As they narrate a nostalgic trip around the lush Magic Mountain. So should we jump into that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Is it Dandenong is the lush Magic Mountain?
Yes, that is the Magic
so
Mountain.
So we can go there and listen to this.
He has an anecdote about why it's called Magic Mountain, but I'll tell you that after we listen to the song.
Okay, cool. I'm literally forcing myself to not make like a Charlie, like the unicorn. You remember it's just been, the stim has been waiting in my head. And I know that it makes me old, but it's there. Let's face it. And I'm here to say what you're all thinking at the end of the day.
All right, this is Ceres, Britney Spears.
Okay.
What did you think?
I thought it was really pretty. It's a nice, early Monday morning track for sure, easing us in.
Yeah, it is probably one of the most urgent songs from them that I've heard, particularly of the most recent singles. I think the vocal harmonies are
really stunning,
gorgeous, and really kind of make
their voices pair together so just organically.
Yeah, but there's just that really beautiful aching, lilting
it's
guitar,
that nostalgia
lead that just has that plaintive kind of pull
through
to it.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Listening to it now, a few times, it is relatively simple, and it is just that same refrain over and over and over again. But I think that repetition works in its favor.
For sure.
Sometimes, the simplest thing can be the most effective thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So
that's pop music.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all writing variations of pop music. But yeah.
But we're all trying to, I'm sure.
Yes. But not entirely sure the story linking the title to that particular kind of lyrical journey. Like, I don't really think it's about Britney Spears.
Oh,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Or whether it's just like an ironic throwaway. Who knows? But
Well, I mean, this is totally off the cuff, but if we're talking about nostalgia, going back to your roots,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I relate to that. Britney is certainly roots and nostalgia for me. It was Britney and then Nirvana somehow.
you went backwards. You regressed.
Yeah, definitely.
No, you're right. Like the date range on the record, like 96 to 2022.
For sure.
That's
That's
Britney.
Britney.
That's
It's
Britney.
Britney,
time.
bitch.
That's the full sine wave of her career.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's nice. Put
very
more
good.
fucking electric guitar in pop music for sure.
Moving on to the next track for the A-side this week. This was a new find thanks to the YouTube algorithm.
Thanks to the YouTubes.
Thank you, algorithm. This is a Brooklyn outfit called Blisspoint.
Cool.
And their Bandcamp profile cheekily lists them under some potentially non-existent subgenre tags. But they are slamgaze, post-vape, and synthcore.
All of that is me.
It's currently what you're doing right
Yeah,
now.
for sure. This
whole thing that you're
This
doing.
is definitely, what was the vape one?
Post-vape.
Post-vape, yeah.
Me, bitch.
Me post-vape.
So the New York trio have a new full-length album coming out. This one is titled Dog in capital letters, which I believe is very important.
He's down there.
He's down there. And this one drops on November 22nd through Candlepin Records. The quote that I don't really have like a press bio or anything about it. All the band says is, "We all know what it feels like to have a bit of that dog in us."
We do.
So you can imagine the algorithm threw this at me. I went and looked. I saw that.
It's very you-coded.
I saw that one line tag
and you're
I
like,
was like,
sold.
I also have that dog in
I
me.
have my dog in me. I ate him. Nom, 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 nom.
All right. Well, let's have a listen to the track that was on the algorithm. This is Blisspoint Cloud House.
Cloud House.
Thoughts?
It was very pretty. It was very airy. It wasn't what I expected, though.
No, and that's kind of what got me intrigued in the first place. Because, like, the name, the title, I was thinking, like, oh, this will be like some alt rock, shoegaze.
That's kind of what I thought,
kind of
too.
thing.
Yeah.
And, like,
it is that?
there's hints of that, but it's
Yeah.
more close to, I guess, for me, I was thinking of Passion Pit.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Sleigh Bells.
Yeah, okay.
And kind of like getting that dancey, almost like
Yeah.
break kind of stuff in there with the drums, the rhythms, the pumping, like pulsating kind of groove behind
Sure.
it. But the vocals do have that airiness, that dreamy kind of like shoegaze kind of sheen to them.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And I mean, obviously, they kind of know what they're doing. Like, they're cheekily calling it like slam gaze. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever the fuck
I
that
get
is.
it now. Yeah, that's what slamgaze is.
Yeah.
They just made it up.
They got that dog in them.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Yeah, woof woof.
Yeah, it's so weird because, like, it does have that dog in it, but just not in the way that you expected,
No.
I guess. Yeah, it's
but
cool.
I mean, this is
I love being surprised.
this is the joy of the new finds on the algorithm. So
Yeah, definitely.
knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah, TikTok's not as good at that, for sure.
No,
It's definitely got some, like,
except that one time it recommended like peeling flesh. And
that
it
was sick.
that crazy like
Yeah.
fucking slam band, actual slam.
Yeah.
That was great.
I just think that the bands that are more popular on there are, like, super dependent on the algorithm.
Yes.
So it's more like the global interest in alternative music.
To be honest, like I don't use it anywhere near enough to kind of get any kind of juice
to
out
gauge
of
it. Yeah,
Whereas,
I don't
like,
know. It's all over the place and it is creepy. Algorithms be creepy.
Definitely.
Like, don't know when I'm ovulating. That's fucking weird. Like, that's why I never download them apps. You know what I mean? Don't just anticipate what I need in life. I mean, stop that. Yuck.
Also, the Timu products that I keep getting recommended,
Weird shit.
fuck off.
Yeah, mad invasive for sure.
Not a fan. All right, moving on to the next song for the A-side this week. Stoked to talk about this one. We have a new single from Melbourne death metal outfit Tumour.
Sick.
This band is of note because they feature Dan New, formerly of Plovers,
Yes.
on vocals.
Yes.
So-
I've heard about this quite recently.
Yes. So we went to the
Flubbers.
the Plovers funeral on
Rest in peace.
on Saturday. R.I.P.
Absolutely wonderful group of people.
Yeah, great band, great people, great show.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
They did play Hot to Go briefly.
But Dan will, I guess, be picking up the microphone and rocking with Tumour, which is sick. So we're going to jump into that single, but this is taken from a forthcoming split release that the band is doing with Wollongong's Burn in Hell.
Cool.
And it's coming out through Reason and Rage Records in October. I don't have an exact date; it just says October. So,
As Chris said, there is something in the water in Wollongong.
indeed,
I think that I don't know who it was, but someone from Plovers replied to me about that and said, "Yeah, it's lead."
beautiful. I also just saw that Tumour have announced that they're going on a Southeast Asian tour
Cool.
in October, kind of coinciding with this release. And they're playing like Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, like a bunch of places.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
That is dope.
Stoked for them.
Me too.
Killing it. Let's have a listen to the single. This is Tumour, Spread Thin.
All right, let's do it.
That's so fucking sick.
That was crazy. Good.
It's so good.
That was insane.
It's like a perfect 2.5 minute like death metal onslaught. It's
That's
great.
also just like an entirely different tonality for his screams.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like meeting Dan in person, having him on the show as a
So
guest.
sweet.
And he's just, like
He's got that dog in him.
he's got that dog in him for sure. He sounds like a beast.
And it's coming for our throats. Fuck.
No, he sounds huge.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then like instrumentally, that was wild, Like
Yeah.
I feel like
The drums are on point.
This is
riffs are on
like-
point.
stadium level, like
Yeah.
this is insanely good.
It sounds really good. And like compositionally too, like I think it works so well for this type of very like riffy kind of, almost like thrash inspired death metal stuff.
Yeah.
Where like the interplay between the rhythm and the lead is like super engaging. Lots of little like accent, little like pinches.
Pinch squills forever for
Yeah,
days.
love that
Honestly,
shit.
put it in everything all the time.
But the drums are super good too, and I
Yes.
like when a track like allows enough space to just kind of like
Dun-dun,
drop everything away
So
and then bring it
fucking
back
good.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He definitely has such a love for music in general, and I think that just shows in the projects that he works on for sure.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I love this.
Very
I'm keen-
impressive.
I'm keen to hear the split.
Me too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go to the next one for the A side. I'm very excited to talk to you about this band. So we had Bailey and Aiden from Gravemind on the show for one of our guest episodes a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
And in the Patreon special, over on the Patreon, you should sign up and you can go watch the Patreon specials that I've been putting on over there. But for those who haven't, for every guest, they do a Patreon special. I give them some scenarios, they pick some songs, and then we build a playlist out of their selections. Try and keep it loose and fun and have some fun with it. One of the songs that Aiden picked is from a band called Big Ass Truck.
Oh yeah, like big ass fans.
Yeah. They weren't a band that I was familiar with, but they hail from San Bernardino in California,
San Bernardino.
and they are billed as real fuck you music.
Yeah, sick. Nice.
And they put out a release back in March called the Big Ass Demo. It had song titles like Big Ass Dog, Beef, and Corn Fed. So as you can tell,
We've got a theme.
got a theme going on here. They've followed it up now with a 2-track last week called The Fucking Promo.
Oh, yeah.
And it is
Lit.
about what you would expect. It's just heavy mosh music.
Ignorant,
That's
angry.
This is not really taking itself too
hilarious.
seriously, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
That's pretty good shit, to be perfectly
I don't really have
honest.
much else to say about it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
So I was stoked when they put out some new stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can finally put them
This
on the
is
show.
sick.
This is great.
Okay, cool.
So this is Big Ass Truck from the Grave.
Okay, fuck yeah. Insane.
That was big ass energy.
It was a sick sounding kit that was somehow like so live, but also so polished.
Yeah.
Like-
sounded huge. Like the double kick is like concussive.
Yeah, for sure. I was on that snare shit. Just
Yeah.
like,
It's really good. And I feel like just having a full seizure.
I give
on
him
Ken.
gold and he gives me nothing.
Come on. I'll clip that for the little like thumbnail of you just being like,
Look, it's probably about as pretty as I'm going to look, but I would prefer you to have the dumb tiny
all
glasses
right,
on.
I'll do my best.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I think like I said this before. I can't remember whether it was on a roundup or maybe a guest episode, but like there should be more joke bands, bands that kind of just don't take themselves so seriously. This is the perfect example of like the music is good. None of that is like jokey or gimmicky, but like they clearly
I mean, they're having fun with
they're
it,
clearly just having fun with it, and
but they're very talented.
but they're very
I
talented.
mean, and that's the thing, though. They have the privilege of being insanely talented. Makes it a lot harder to have imposter syndrome when you're just like very good at something.
Yeah. And I just think commitment to the bit is key here. I was telling you while it was playing that like their artist profile picture on Spotify and on Bandcamp is just like Transformers and like big trucks.
Robots in disguise.
And the bio on Spotify just says 12 cylinders of fuck.
Failed me yet again, Starscream.
Anyway, fantastic release from Big Ass Truck. Willing to see more.
Yeah, please give.
Final track for A-side this week is another single from bedroom synth rockers and friends of the show, New Miserable Experience.
Yes, it.
So we have details now on their debut full-length album, which we announced with our guest episode when we had Dave Grossman on the show. It was in our pre-YouTube era, so you can go find that episode on Spotify. Check it out. The album is called Absent Lovers. It's due for release later this year through the good folks over at Translation Loss Records. It's coming out on October 11th. And yeah, if you're not familiar with New Miserable Experience, they are a supergroup featuring members of a whole bunch of underground metal mainstay acts like Rosetta, Model Prisoner, Revocation, Rivers of Nihil. Very talented group of individuals doing something a little bit instrumentally left of center from their regular stuff, but still super interesting, super fun. I like this song, which I'm about to play you. It's probably one of my favorites off the record. I have heard the full record. But yeah, I like this one, and they shot a video for it as well, which
Hell
is
yeah.
sick. But yeah, I'm going to play you New Miserable Experience. Not every whispered promise is true.
Oh, what?
Disappointed already? All right, are you with us now?
Yeah, sorry, I disassociated back there in the intro, and I was just thinking about all the times people have sent me pigeons randomly and how I should make like a collage of that.
Okay.
But yeah, sick song, first of
Yes.
all. And I think it's a really interesting take on like a very Deftonesy almost, like,
Kind of, yeah.
but not. And that's good because I feel like Deftones randomly got really popular with the younger generation, which is sick. But then like 80 billion Deftones bands just like appeared overnight.
I feel like
overwhelming.
Instrumentally,
It's completely unique.
There's probably not a lot of Deftones there.
Exactly.
But I would say like, you know, Chino's delivery and his like breathy
It's the
vocal is
tonality,
probably a bit of
yeah.
an influence on Dave.
But like I said, not in a derivative way.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I think instrumentally what's exciting about that song is like that's probably the most propulsive I've heard the band.
Yeah.
And it's very like upbeat, that kind of like juddering, mechanistic sounding
That's
like
the first
drum.
thing I did when we came back in was just like make the weird noises of the
Yeah.
song. There's a lot of different weird sounds that come together in a way that shouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
but just does.
the first 30 to 40 seconds are super like heavy industrial, mechanistic, and then it kind of like breaks wide open into this like dancey kind of like pre-chorus,
sure.
chorusy bit, which I think is super interesting. And then it just kind of like ducks and weaves between those different bits the whole way through.
Yeah, definitely.
But definitely the most like upbeat, up-tempo song on the record. So I'm glad they chose this one for a single in a video because it is one of my
I
favorites.
feel like it has like a excited, anxious vibe.
It does.
Right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
like upbeat in tempo, but somehow that's not giving upbeat in vibe. It's giving like this like
Well, again,
rapacious like
I think that's Dave's vocals.
yeah.
Like his,
You're right.
His
yeah.
vocals are kind of like at a kind of like a thematic contrast.
Yeah, contrast.
Almost.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, for sure. Just
To use
kind
the
of
technical term, the juxtaposition.
the juxtaposition, the mise en scène. What did you think of the mise en
I
scène?
mean, there is no mise en scène. There is a mise en scène to the video, sure.
Just doing the fucking meme, man. God damn it. Fighting for my life out here.
Anyway, stoked for these guys to get the record out.
Me
It's
too.
really good.
Yeah, that
and,
was really
I think
cool.
people should get on board the miserable experience train.
I am going to get on board and then also say that I was actually always on board and I've liked them since before they were cool.
I mean, we featured them on the show like 18 months ago.
Yeah,
so
I know.
like we've been on the train.
You heard it here first, actually. So
That wraps up side A for this week. So if you'd like to watch the rest of the show, head on over to the Patreon. It's $5 a month.
only
You
5.
get access to all the bonus stuff. We got some cool things happening over there. Plus, you get the full show, get some other tracks for this week and previous weeks. Just, sign up to the Patreon.
Yeah. Next is going to be Only Friends. Sign up for that too. If you want to see it. Don't.
Nope.
No, you don't.
All right. Well, let's go to side B. Subscribe now to the Pitch of Discontent Patreon to receive access to extended cuts of our bonus episodes, as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes content, monthly Patreon-only episodes, member-only votes, the TPD community chat, and much more. Go now to patreon.com/tpdpod and join for as little as $5 a month. That link again is patreon.com/tpdpod. Thanks for watching the show.